morning, fabulous humans of KIB. Welcome to Business Continuity Awareness Week 2025. The only event where Excel sheets, evacuation drills, and emergency contacts are somehow not giving us anxiety. This week, we dive into the glamorous world of being prepared. And no, not like being prepared for the date, but we are talking about next level preparedness, like having 10 backup chargers, an alternate office location, and your third cousin's password access to the VPN. At KIB, we don't panic, we plan. We don't scream, we stay vigilant and resilient. And we definitely don't lose our cool unless the AC goes off. And I think ERCR team has witnessed that already on the first day. But they are very prepared. They had a backup plan and they had to use fans at various locations so that we all don't feel humid. Now, let's get things rolling. But first, what's an iconic event without a dramatic signature wall? It's time for the BCM story wall, also known as the Wall of Warriors, where you immortalize your name right next to others who have survived mock drills, blackout drills, and real drills too. Like that one time when the vending machine refused to accept coins. Calling on our champions to leave their legendary autographs, Mr. Sridhar, AVP, whose second skin is sustainability, and Mr. Sudeep Ghoshal, brain so fast that we suspect artificial intelligence. And I also request Mr. George to please join on the BCM wall and please sign it. Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause, please. And don't worry, you all will also get a chance. This is my 4th day hosting this and I'm signing on the wall every day.
Proxy of okay?
Yes. Thank you. This year's theme is Redefining Resilience, creating a future-proof airport. Sounds like something from the Marvel, right? Sounds so complex, isn't it? Yeah. Except here, the superhero wears an aerodrome entry permit, holds an HP laptop, and probably has a tab titled BCP Strategy Final version 8. But still gets disapproved, right? Resilience today means surviving unexpected delays, data crashes, and conversation that begin with a quick question. So no, you don't need to be a superhero, but we have to be a future-proof hero. You just need to have a good plan, steady Wi-Fi, and at least one colleague that can fix the printer without googling it out. To begin with, now I call upon Rajesh Datla, who says that he is a newbie and has already studied the entire crisis management manual plan. Over to you, sir.
So we can ask him questions now.
Yes, please.
He's ready for version change.
Oh wow.
Thank you. Well, a warm welcome to one and all who are present today. My name is Rajesh Verma Datla, that's my full name, and I represent ERCR and responsible for enterprise risk management along with a few other verticals too at BLR Airport. I would like to talk about 4 aspects, but before that I would like to quickly acknowledge. Thanks a lot Blue Dart team and the leadership, Mr. Chetan, for giving us this wonderful venue to conduct this. Quick insights to those who probably would need those insights to know why we are doing this. The background of BCAW. This is a global initiative by BCI, Business Continuity Institute, the headquartered in United Kingdom, and this was initiated in early 2000s, much before the infamous event struck the world, 9/11. Objective of this event to spread the awareness amongst entities on how to be prepared for any crisis scenario, any and every. Across all industries, this is a week-long campaign that is conducted between the months of May and June. There's a little spillover because we started it towards the end of June. The other objective here is to send in or rather seed in the culture change. And when can we do that? Not when we stop with what is required, but revealing the why factor. so that we get the buy-in from all the stakeholders cutting across all the verticals of the organization. This year, the theme focuses on the favorite child of Sridhar, long-term sustainability, adaptability, and innovation. Road ahead, there is an action-packed program which contains leadership talks by none other than our own Mr. Sridhar L, Assistant Vice President and Head ESG at Bangalore International Airport. Industry expert from the banking world, where I have hailed from, Mr. Sudeep Ghoshal, Senior Vice President, Security, Resilience, Admin and Infrastructure, IndusInd Bank. To learn, there's a lot to learn from them and their best practices, followed by an unveiling of QRT jackets I'm referring to, and evacuation exercise, which is also scheduled to follow in T1 post this event. I wish all the participants here at the venue and those teams that are witnessing the event online, thank you, Mohan, thanks to YouTube live streaming that is happening, so to capitalize on this wonderful opportunity. Thank you once again.
Thank you. Now, from high alert to high impact, our next speaker is on a mission to make the world cleaner, greener, and future ready. And trust us, he's got the track record to prove it. With 29 years of turning sustainability goals behind some of the coolest and the greenest initiatives at BIL, he fixes problems before we even know they exist. From cutting emission to making airport water-wise, his projects don't just tick box, they change the game and the entire game. Oh, and did we mention the awards? Let's just say, for excellence, it's just another Tuesday for him. So buckle up for the green revolution that's going to start now. Time to welcome Mr. Sridhar L, AVP and Head ESG, Bangalore International Airport Limited. Over to you, sir.
Good morning all. Thank you for the nice introduction, and these introductions will live up to that expectation to deliver that nice motivation what you all have given. While the laptop is getting connected there, let us just start with one question which just a few minutes back struck my mind. When the screen was there and all the experts were talking about business continuity, let's talk 2 minutes about you and me. What is continuity for us as individuals? What comes to our mind? No right or wrong answer, perception.
Keep going.
Whatever happens.
And if I just can give a clue, like from our birth, you think about it. Think that we are born today. Everybody would like to reborn every day, so let's born today. And from that time to the entire life cycle of us, what is the continuity and where we are contributing to the continuity? Each one of us are doing. We can just call it out 2 minutes. Or though it got connected, we can spend 2 minutes, no issue.
It's about going on irrespective of any scenarios or circumstances, and how are we preparing ourselves to still move on. And that comes from a fact that if you are preparing in a futuristic way, if you are like, it boils down, the BCM is no separately or standing separate from a sustainable approach, because only when our preparedness towards the future sustainability is there is when we can go on, irrespective of any scenario. So it's more to do with we have to go on and have to have preparedness to go on in a full holistic approach that we can foresee.
Thank you for that. Just one simple summarize I'll take from what Sonali is telling from our personal life. Generally, I'm not telling each and every individual in our life, but generally as a society, if you see, how much of the time the one generation ahead works for themselves and works for the next generation. Somebody told me 25, 30 years back, that time I didn't understand. Later in this journey of learning in these 3 decades, I started realizing and appreciating it. Generally, especially in Indian society, I think the elder generation works maximum for the younger generation. And the younger generation, when they come to that line stage, always from our grandfathers, the paternal thing and everything, Most of the times, if you ask somebody is in 40s and 50s, what is that in your mind now, your ambition? Daughter ka education, son ka education, their marriage. Nowadays, what I am seeing is largely, some people wanted to live also another 20, 30 years to see that their grandchildren are also settled. So, that is the family continuity we will apply in business continuity. Normally in ESG and BCM, always my passion is to connect to us, because there is nothing different in this entire technical approach of ESG and sustainability in whichever way we say. We have been given birth to sustain in this world for a purpose and to leave the world in a better shape for the future generation. Normally when we talk about money, money is also a resource, what we leave it for the people. And whether any other resources also, whatever we give it for the people, leave amount of hands. Why is it so?
Because follow similar ISO standard patterns, as well as there are a lot of clauses which are backed with BCM or the ISO what you use and the 22701 what we use is very, very relatable. It talks about multiple facets of how we can continual improvements, what are the changes that you're doing for the how you're continuing your process and what you brought back in the initial stage. So that's the major things that I can probably correlate back.
Largely correct, the principles, but ISO is an add-on part which the team is handling the 4 things, but when it comes to the ESG part of it, yes, you're right. It starts with ESG or it starts with BCM? That cycle what he is telling, PDCA. I have a reason to ask this question, I'll tell you. I realized it only a decade back.
I think it starts with probably ESG because BCM is more to do with in a crisis how do you what is your preparedness. So but the entire journey is about making sustainable practices or having that entire platform set.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't know the answer because it is like a chicken.
I actually wanted to say
It's like a chicken and egg story. But definitely, let us forget about the route where it started, chicken or egg. But definitely, both has this cycle. Some activities start with ESG, goes to BCM and come back to ESG. Some activities will start from BCM and go back to ESG. And think, how many of you here think in this room, how many ESG professionals are there known to you?
all of us practice.
You have already told the answer here. You didn't allow me to. Yeah, ESG is part of the DNA of the organization. We are all only a catalyst function, like how BCM is doing a fantastic job of de-risking the organization. ESG also sees through the lens of environmental, social, when I say both internal and external, and how do we govern it as a collaborative function to de-risk. Why we need to de-risk?
To protect the org.
In this VUCA world, anything can happen, right? And complexities are always there, so we need to be ahead of the risk for us to do this. And one last question, after that I will take all your questions after this slides. Why is it required? The entire world was there before professional like us and all of us who are working in ESG here, each one of us. That time also the world was happening, everything was fine, and why sudden we need to, BCM team can come in the last. Why? Everything was fine, right? So 20 years back somebody told me like, the time when we talk as more sustainability than the ESG lens, we used to ask like this one question, why do you think you have a sustainability KPI? Somebody told me just because you have to get paid. Sridhar has to get his salary, so that is why. So, like that, before that also world was going on, no? What has suddenly changed a focus on continuity?
Due to exploitation of nature.
Actually, it is starting from startup, growth, progress, prosperity, and sustainability. If it reaches to that level, it has to the background is the environment, resources, people, property, information. Naturally, it has to be synchronized properly. So for that purpose, it is required.
Very nicely, all of you said. Thank you for that. I always, in a lighter vein, I used to tell that sometimes as a human nature, we all have thought like, kal ka kal dekha jayega, aaj ka jayenge. So we will leave it for today and leave it for kal ka, tomorrow we will see. So I'm not telling each one of us carry that. Sometimes I see that across nowadays is a bit more, where the importance is given for more for the current. So that is why responsible organization and responsible citizens like us, each one of us in this company, and also as in our individual capacities, quite responsible. That's why we are all here together. We have a responsibility to see that tomorrow also is a day there, and whatever we are cherishing today, tomorrow it should be there, both from an individual perspective and business perspective. Since that all of you are telling this, now I will also tell like what BIAL is doing to this and how, as a committed organization, we have been doing from an ESG perspective and how BCM and ESG are twins. How many of you agree BCM and ESG are twins, inseparable? Good majority, but always it doesn't go in majority. Consensus also required. Some of you not raising hands also can raise. So, okay, we are growing. We have to grow with responsibility. With growth, responsibility has to set in to de-risk. So we have a vision like how do we touch lives? Touching lives in multiple dimensions from the lens of people, planet, and economic sustainability also. Because in sustainability, there are 3 P's which are we are all familiar: people, planet, and profit. You can't be a sustainable balance with only focusing on one. We need to all 3 to drive home the sustainability. We all know the UN SDGs. While we contribute directly to 11 and indirectly to 6, we all have been working. Whatever is applicable to BIAL in a very committed and sincere steps, we are taking it up. Now here you will get the answers for all my questions, and you can also ask questions. This is the only slide which we have to focus today. My humble request, when that time you raised hands, I didn't give you a chance. What you wanted to say that time?
Okay, thank you. I'm suffocating from inside. To respond to your question, may not be a complete answer, but I'll still try to give us, before even forget it, I thought I'll write it. So, post-internet era, the information started flowing in. So, information coming in, awareness was spreading. Awareness spreading was spreading, leading to realization. Realization led to confession. Confession led to commitment. And I'm not referring to just Paris Agreement, but all the other individual, entity level, country level commitments that are brought onto the table. Now we don't have the luxury of choosing that as an option, but it is mandation for us to survive the storm of whatever we have led. And the confession is whatever that we did in the name of, industrial revolution and the development. So, those sort of thought processes are brought in back to the table for us to, think about everything and everything that we do, not just in the name of development, but also ensuring sustainability and balancing act. Thank you.
So now here I will try and answer the circularity of why we are twins, ESG and BCM are inseparable. Would somebody want to attempt from this? I will explain this slide. This is the only key slide for today. ESG should be a part of the DNA of the organization, and both handles the risk part of it. Business continuity, there is a risk. ESG also sees the risk from a different lens. So we can't have 2 risk registers, right? And if you don't have a common approach. So end of the day, we will have to safeguard the organizations, the individuals, and the stakeholders so that the thing continues. And we are in industry, we do not have to say about like what are all the type of complexities we have. I'll take one simple example. For example, if ESG assesses a climate risk, can we do that in alone, assessing climate risk? I think many of you are part of this July 4th workshop. So it also flows down to BCM. And BCM also takes that as a top risk of the organization, and also we all work together in joining hands. After doing all those things, there is also a mechanism which goes back to the board and to the top leadership from the which part of ESG that will sit in? When we go to the board and when we go to the top management, governance. So the G part of it in the organization, again it comes up a role block. Like he was telling, like a plan to check act and the circularity of it. Sonali must be definitely angry with me because I didn't know the answer I'd say. Chicken or egg, I don't know. But it is a cycle which flows in. Something starts with ESG, something starts with BCM. End of the day, it is an integrated DNA of the organization. The operational responsibilities in every organization may vary for people who own it up. But end of the day, these two teams work for the resilience. Only from an objective of to build a better future to have what we have today. So what is that we are doing? In environment, needless to say, from the resources point of view, the water, the greenhouse gas emission. I think in any seminar or any think tank discussion and a panel discussion in a TV, nowadays you would have noticed the words carbon neutral, net zero, emission free world, climate change, 1.5 degree, 2 degrees. So all the jargons you would have noticed. End of the day, it all boils down to one risk, climate risk. So 10 years back in one of my earlier organizations, when with all the big champions like you, when we were interacting, all of us felt, including me also, 50% half-heartedly, I also agreed like there is no climate risk for Bangalore. We have been proven wrong. With whatever models which ran and gave a risk factor, some people felt like it's a doomsday prediction which may never will happen. But today, because we are not on a coast shore, that time the entire thought process was like, we were not on the coastline like some of the cities like Chennai, Kolkata or Mumbai. Even if 1.5 degree, 2 degrees breached, the global warming happens, the ice melts and these cities will submerge. Bangalore is in center of India. At the west, we may get a seashore type of a lighter vein jokes were there. But today, you see, what is the type of climate change risk we are having? High intensity rains, unseasonal rains, what all these things. Today, that is a much larger collective approach is required. Is there anything we as individuals have a role to play for climate change?
100%. Yes.
Any examples? Forget we are corporate citizens, as individual citizens, any role? It's a big subject, no? It is United Nations, company, board.
Small steps contributes a lot. So in my opinion, even if you switch a light off matters a lot. Easily. Whatever the small thing you do, it contributes in a very big way.
Fantastic. Life is made easier. So that is why we have also a program like behavioral change, where we used to run like a 2 rails. Individual agenda, from that time I'm trying to put across this thought in our minds is that we have an equal role to play, in my opinion, as individuals in our own way of personal lives and also in our corporate lives. It is like a rail track. A business continuity and risk-free ESG and a sustainable future, we have to destination go. These 2 rails are required. Otherwise, the engine will derail. So we have, see, if what we do a lot of things here and go back home and do the opposite, nobody is going to follow us back. The positive infection will not carry forward on this thing. So the moment when organization like BIAL and many of our concessionaires and partners who are here, we all have a very responsible journey and we are working together, and we are one of the very few organizations who have hit the benchmark type of thing. We are in the process of that collaborative thing. The same thing we also have to do it in our personal lives. So one example what comes to your mind, which you said like switching off the lights and everything, it may look like very simple. We have been hearing this from 30, 40 years back, but believe me, it is very difficult to implement at home. I still remember once I just went out of my study room in my school days without switching off the light, and then my mother said like, why you have not switched off? I said, I'm going to come back in 2 minutes, what's your problem? I think she had some one half, that scale used to be in one brown color scale, no? Those days we used a lot. She was keeping that in hand. She threw at me, which hit me. Even today, my fingers keep searching for lights when I leave the room. That I couldn't do it for my kids. I have been trying to tell, it didn't happen. One day it happened when I started practicing in front of them. And then sincerely practicing, day by day practicing, consistently practicing. Now they have become preachers to others. So the only thing in BCM and ESG is demonstrate, consistently, collaborate. It starts from individual and it collaborates with the team, and then only we can build a sustainable future. So BIAL's contribution in this place, my final 5 minutes, we have a 6 key strategic pillars and core foundational values, which also includes the community interventions and also the behavioral change programs. There are a lot of things we have been doing. End of the day in E, S and G, if somebody puts a gun, all are equally important, right? E, S and G. Many of you know here who already knew this in the earlier session, don't venture out. I just wanted to create a trigger. Somebody puts a gun on my head and then say like, you choose between E, S or G. You have no choice. Okay, somebody will shoot me, right? Which one I should be choosing? All three. But you have put a gun on my head and said select one, otherwise I'll shoot.
Yes.
Who said E? Raise your hands. No, nothing wrong. It's all perception.
I go with E. I go with E.
You go with E. What is that? Sonali?
You will say it's all three, so we're not going to raise hands.
No, some gun on my head, save my life. Have some courtesy for me. So how many yes? Okay, very good. How many G? So a lot of people have abstained. This is not parliament, you have a right to abstain. So,
I'll answer from my side. I being an expert, I might as well point the gun towards you again.
okay. Thanks for all the...
Finally you say you don't know.
I know the answer. The chicken and egg only I don't know the answer. Say it's G. While all are equally important, it is the governance without which we will fail in everything. That is where the ESG and the BCMs and our individual awareness and our self-conscious and our commitment, everything comes. A self-governance is also equally important. All of us know an example which many speakers always used to tell. On an early morning 3:30 on a highway when there was nobody else is there was a red signal, somebody stops and respected and goes is the best governance than doing that in front of a policeman. So that is how it becomes both are important. And governance, that way BIAL has a very strong governance system which has a top-down and bottom-up approach, and that is why we are all here today. Now, this is the strategic pillars and foundational values where entire ESG on the internal social, people part, community part, and environment and planet, we address it on this. And some of these things, which many of you will know, we are a water positive organization. We have a responsibility for this place where we exist. 2/3 of our water we extract from our rainwater harvesting. That much of water is saved for the Bangalore city. Because of that much of a saving, BWSs can divert to the people. We are a water positive organization. We replenish more than double of what we consume. How many of you have seen last August one paper cutting about these net zero emissions about BIAL? Press releases. August is quite far. Another 1 month August comes. So it is not a memory testing. We were first in Asia for achieving one important recognition. Anybody can attempt to remember that? I could hear a lot of 5, but let me just complete what is that 5. So ACI level 5, which is a carbon accreditation program run by Airport Council International, which has many levels, level 1, 2, 3, 3+, 4, 4+, and 5. 5 is being the highest, scope 1 and 2, net zero status, and committing scope 3 for 2050. Our plan was 2030, our strategic commitment 2030 pillars. We have done 7 years ahead of a schedule, first airport in Asia. We are among the very few airports across the globe to achieve this, thanks to the entire collaborative partnership of the companies and the partners, and that shows a resilience aspect of BIAL, not only committing a timeline, and also the teams all over the BIAL and the partners and collaborative approach have ensured 7 years ahead of a schedule and have a line item by line item de-risking for the scope 3 part of it, tying up with the supply chain to see like how we can also be supportive from a collaborative perspective, like take home that. That is actually a good encouragement is happening for the D, which I said 3 times, which is important in resilience. Demonstrate. Another C. One more C. all of us are very good in this, right, as individuals? That's why we are here today. So let us do all those things in shaping the future. And this is a very big journey. All those things, I'm not reading it out, but it is being intertwined for every operation of the organization. It is now part of the DNA of the organization. We are representing in multiple global forums for this collaborative approach. We are also signatory to United Nations Global Compact Network in India. We are also serving their board for the second consecutive time from the collaborative aspects of not reinventing the wheel from the beginning. We share our knowledge, we learn from others. That is how this resilience can be built over a time of de-risking. Is that a better approach to learn from each other? And nowadays I see this in many schools also, which I didn't see in my time, at least in my school, where everybody used to close the notebooks. Not during exam time. Exam time we are not supposed to show. So in the school time. Today I see this collaboration is picking up even in younger generation. When I visit some schools for some speeches or some knowledge sharing or parent-teachers meeting, I can see the collaboration of that thing. I help you, you help me, you win, I win. This entire game is you win, I win, I win, you win. You lose, I lose. So the resilience we want to build for the entire shaping the future, we should believe in each one of us. We should have a collaborate. We should respect for each other, all the value system of BIAL. Whatever you are seeing here is some of the very few people who have achieved, some only we have achieved, some of the very top-notch achievements. There are many things like this, but what we have said for 2030 is a long journey that can happen only with a systematic approach, a consistent approach, a collaborative approach, and a consistent demonstration, which will influence the entire ecosystem in building together to develop a resilient world, de-risked world, and to develop a sustainable future. Can we eliminate all the risk? My last question for the day.
No.
Why? How many feel so? Yes.
No.
Can we eliminate all risk? Why? Are you sure?
Yes.
Eliminating all risk also is a risk. So, which is also not possible. I agree. I think all of you are very clear in this. We have to. Sorry?
Our jobs are at stake.
That I didn't think about it. So, why I am telling is we'll have to learn with the risk. That is what the BCM, the business continuity, ESG, any organization's commitment, we have to learn with the risk, minimize the risk to the maximum extent. When we say net zero also, the definition is not 100% zero. It is 90% elimination of the emission and balance 10% you buy or develop carbon removal offsets. So the world cannot go with 100% like mathematics, but it has to be a near 100. I like this word near 100 very much in the concept of this resilience, because 100% perfectness may not be possible all the time in this aspect, but we should achieve for that. There are certain areas we can't compromise. It has to be 100%. It is life or death. But when it comes to the overall approach of shaping the future, we all have to look like how do we eliminate the risk to a greater extent and learn to live with the risk without affecting. Because I first when somebody taught me safety, 29 years back in one of the induction, they gave me an example like snake example. Because the moment he showed one demo of a snake, like in hand, it looked like a real snake. He terrified us in that tutor, and then he said, "Is not a real snake. I'm just throwing it away." Like that, all the snakes shall we eliminate in the world? No. Then the class started like, if snake bites happen, what happens? How snake should live? We should live. Risk will be there. VUCA world, anything can happen. I'm sure with all this collaborative work, we can always eliminate the risk, and we can consistently build the sustainable future. 2030 is the commitment here. It doesn't end there. It is a continuity. As long as human race exists in this world, to the world whatever we know, the planet, this continuity is a word will continue forever. That is what will keep us going as individuals and organizations. Thank you very much for bearing with me for 20-25 minutes. So I should take some questions from a democratic perspective, because I asked you a lot of questions. If I may be of any help to answer some of the queries, happy to take it. I don't want to be taking the time of the expert speaker, so in case if you want to take offline also, fine. Thank you very much. Thank you for the opportunity. Thanks a lot.
consider would be the lead, and we would all be binge watching, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I want you all to pay attention when I'm saying something because I'm cracking jokes and I want you all to laugh. And I'm sure ERCR team wouldn't laugh because I've been hosting this in 4 days. They are bored of my jokes. And I remember Mr. Raghuveer is so tired of me and my old jokes. I'm sure he's tired.
Ankita, I have a request.
Yes.
Next time you crack the joke, you reply.
I will tell you myself.
I will start laughing.
If you remember rightly, on the day one of me hosting, I cracked a joke. Nobody laughed. I told everyone it was a joke. That's why they laughed.
How your jokes are?
That's a joke. Because it's an impromptu hosting. So, all right, everyone. Jokes apart. Get ready, because our next speaker brings a mix of discipline, strategy, and a leadership that's sharper than your Monday morning coffee. With over 26 years of experience, basically before Wi-Fi was a household word, Mr. Ghoshal has led from the front, be it in the Indian Army, corporate boardrooms, or fast-paced crisis response rooms. He's worked with big names like Reliance and Accenture, built teams that don't crack under the pressure, and design systems that laugh in the face of risk. Today, he is here to drop some serious wisdom and probably make us all rethink our definition of busy schedule. Let's give him a warm, spirited welcome. Please put your hands together for the one and only Mr. Sudhir Ghoshal, Senior AVP, Security, Resilience, Admin and Infrastructure.
Thank you.
I request you all to please keep your phone on the silent, please.
Even if you don't, my voice is so loud that you'll still hear me. Okay, I think I don't even need this. Thank you so much for inviting me, Bio team and Luda team. Of course, I got to know when I landed up here that we'll be having this session here. So, and all those who are here, present here, thank you so much for inviting me and giving me this opportunity to talk in front of an August, audience. And not that I am an expert in something that you guys may not have done in the past or rather must be doing already what you must be doing. So I am here to share some of my experiences from the military, from the armed forces life, trying to correlate it with our corporate world and see how, like he did with ESG and BCAW, I will try with, the army teachings that I got from there and trying to connect it with the corporate world. So this was just a thought because I was coming for a session with the airport guys, so I thought I'll just put this. But down below, the mobile thing, all of you must be thinking why the mobile. Just to show that the future is also there. So, whether it is technology or, but with technology, with future, today we are in a kind of world which is so dynamic. We all know, he just mentioned about the VUCA world. And why is it happening? Economic stability is that question, geopolitical situation, technological disruptions. I will not just say advancements, but disruptions also. It can be both ways taken into account. So what kind of a organization can actually thrive in a turbulent situation? Me personally, I fear turbulence whenever I am on the flight. I am a ground soldier. I always love the ground. I can do many things on the ground, but in air I cannot. Okay. So, and I have got a partner who used to be a cabin crew. So imagine. So she laughs at me that you can be a warrior, but not in the air. Okay. So now, so we just spoke about this. There is nothing new. Actually, the first 3-4 slides were just to bring it in line with your theme of resilience and future-proof airports. So nothing to do with my topic actually of resilience, which I am supposed to be talking, leadership and resilience. But I thought, let me give it a beginning with this, and then we can always move on to the others. I'm sure you guys have much more numbers than what I have put here, but just to give a context, here, climate change, we just spoke about climate change. I might be wrong, but what I understand from my childhood till now, it has already changed at least 4 times. Mumbai, this year we had rains in May, which always happens in the, by the 10th of June or something, we started having 1 month prior. Winters, I don't know whether we'll ever have it again in a place like Mumbai or not. And I'm sure everybody is seeing those changes. Even Bangalore is seeing those changes with heavy rains. We keep seeing it on TV, the floods situation that keeps happening in Bangalore also. We earlier used to think only Bombay is the place in India where we see that. So that is that. Cyber security, I think this number is of 23, but I was just going through the, doing some research, and I got to know that between 23 and 24, cyber security threats have gone up by 75% in a year. And I'm sure now it is in the increase with this year. Right? And so these are just some of the, disruptions that we are going through. I have been told that 1 day of halt or disruption in an airport environment where flights are not taking off and the airport is at halt, it costs us around $10 million per day. Not very sure whether it is in the Indian context or in the US context, but these are numbers from the internet, nothing that I am telling, out of the way. And we have gone through COVID, we all know how prepared we were or unprepared we were. We were not prepared at all, actually, for that. Coming to that, do you think, like he said, are we really future-proof today? No, right? We are not future-proof today. Why? Why so? We want to be. That's our aim, that's our ambition. But the things are like with the current geopolitical situation. One, Operation Sindoor with I think 3.5 days, 4 days of operations. How many airports closed down?
17.
I think 26? So around that, the entire western sector was closed down, right? So that is the kind of disruption which we are not thinking about as of now. But is that only the disruption with the airport? No, it's affecting people movement, it's affecting business in turn, it's affecting everybody's life somewhere or the other. If it continued for the next 10 days, I'm sure everybody would have got affected somewhere or the other. So that's what is impacting us now. So when we talk about resilience, is it now only bouncing back from our setbacks, like setback to come back? Or now we have to change our strategy? We have to change our strategy to proactively predict and release, or what I have written there, anticipate and adapt. How do we anticipate? We have some good leaders I already saw here talking about, BCP and ESG, but that is where the anticipation comes. You have to anticipate that foresight, that vision has to be there. Once you envision that, what are the problems that can be there, what is the risk, like he just mentioned, we are all here to de-risk. So what are the risks that can impact our functioning, or whatever little way we are contributing to our organization, can we at least think about that one particular function which we are dealing with, and then maybe in that particular function you will get to know that there are 10 things which can actually stop your particular line of function or the department, right? In that case, like in case of Blue Dart, it can just be a strike by the transport guys, right? It can actually, or maybe union issues. So many things can happen. So, I mean, are we thinking about it? How we can? Some of them are tried and tested. Some of them we have not even tested. So we have to keep thinking about it. I'll come to this one. Systemic thinking. Anyone? What is systemic thinking? Yeah, kind of. Looking at the larger picture. In simple terms, looking at the larger picture, the big picture. Don't just think about, I was very happy when I was being, when I came from the airport to this place, I was told by the colleagues who brought me here that how there are some 27,000 people who are working here. 42,000. My numbers can be wrong. And how everybody is, there are 60 plus organizations, right? And how they are all collaborating with each other and functioning together. So now don't just think about, one should not think about this is my organization and only think about this. Now think about the larger picture that if one of them stops functioning, it can impact the larger picture, which is the airport itself, right? and which can cause again chaos to the, discomfort to the passengers who are traveling. Cost investment, I'm sure he must be going through it almost every day when he has to go and take approvals from his bosses. So, but that is something we have to go and convince the board. He spoke about the governance part of it, and I take it that once they are convinced, they know the impact of it, how bad, because today you might spend 10 rupees, but you will save 100 rupees in future. That is the thought process one should have, instead of typically a CFO thought process that why I should spend this 10 rupees now, why I cannot delay it for 10 years later, I'll spend it that time. Let me earn interest on it for the next 10 years. So that is his thought process. So people like us out here in this room have to change that thought process of the CFO, right? So we have to get into their shoes first, say good things about them, and then at the end of it, when you're stepping out of his cabin, you need to know that you have achieved your target, right? You get your budgets. I've not been there, but I think this is your airport, right? Yeah. So I felt now coming to because we were talking about airports, this is the last slide about airports. After this, we'll come back to what I am supposed to be talking, right? So these are the 4 things which I thought are important. Physical infrastructure, which today I am told that India, the numbers have already grown in the last 10 years. I think by almost, we used to have some 74 airports. Now today it's around close to 160 airports in India. So that is the kind of leap and jump that we are taking. And I think in the next 5 years, another 50 gets added. Total cost today in the world, in the airport infrastructure that is being spent is about 1.3 trillion, which again in the next 5 years is expected to go up by 1.8, which is like huge, of which India itself will spend about 170 billion. So huge scope for everybody. Nobody is losing his job. Everybody is going to grow in life. So that's the kind of infrastructure growth that will happen in this particular sector. Digital infrastructure has to go hand in hand, because it's not just going to be the physical infrastructure that's growing. The IT infrastructure also has to grow. Operational agility, I'll come to it a little bit later, but as of now, you can just read through it. That it's a flexible, cross-train. We all just discussed about collaboration with each other. And lastly, organization culture. So this is where I will now change my topic and come back to what I'm supposed to be talking about. Culture of empowered leadership, continuous learning, regular crisis simulation exercises, and preparedness. Okay. Now before I come to this, today I'm here to talk about leadership and resilience. I'll start with a very small anecdote about one of the battle situations in 1999, Operation Vijay, Kargil war that you all know. I was part of that. I will tell you a small story about one of my soldiers from my company. Name, Nayak Shatrughan Singh. He was awarded Veer Chakra, rather he is still alive. Okay. Now, on 28th of May 1999, a team of 10 people led by one Major Sarvanan, who is no more, my senior, he led this team, and we were given a task to capture a post called Jubar. It's a hill, like Tiger Hill is there. There was another mountain called Jubar, and this was in Batalik sector. 28th of May, around night 3 o'clock, early morning 3 o'clock, these guys reach about 50 meters closer to the main height which they have to capture, and then put the Indian flag there. That is the time they get to know that it is not, just Mujahidins or, what was told that only Mujahidins are there and they are, handful of them go and capture them. It was actually Pakistani military people who were actually deployed there with heavy machine guns, proper artillery firing and everything. So those guys were actually looking at these people who were kind of climbing up from down. Around 5 early morning, dusk. These guys thought that now they will launch the attack. That was the time these Pakistanis started firing from all sides into them. So these are 10 people who are like ducks in front of the Pakistanis, and they are trying to go up. Major Saravanan saw that one of our guys, he was an athlete. If alive, I am sure he would have been, representing India somewhere. One Naik Ganesh Prasad, he got hit, volley of bullets, he collapsed. Seeing that, he said, no, I will go ahead and I will destroy all these. So there were some 4 or 5 bunkers there. So Major Saravanan went ahead, he killed 4 of them, 4 Pakistanis. He used rocket launchers, he busted 2 bunkers. That was the time he got a hit on his head, bullet injury. His radio operator, he called the CO, saying his code name was Changiz. So we all used to get code names, to talk to each other. So radio communication, he got, so the radio operator, he called the commanding officer saying that Changiz has got hit, he has got a bullet injury on his head. CO speaks to this officer, young officer, that time he was just 25 years old. He speaks to him and tells him, take cover, don't move it, I will send reinforcement, we will attack the next day. But by then, he was like in full josh, no, sir, give me just half an hour and I'll finish off these guys and we will win this. So after a lot of thought, commanding officer gave him a word. Because it was early morning time, so he did not actually want to give a word, but he said, okay, fine, you are so close to the target, go. In the next 15 minutes, in the battle that happened, we lost Major Saravanan. He was hit on his forehead with heavy machine guns. Then in his team, this guy, Naik Shatrughan Singh, who was also one of the scouts. Scouts are basically people who will walk in front and see as to what is the enemy. He was trying to pull one of the dead bodies of our, his colleague, another soldier. While doing that, he got a volley of bullet injuries below his waist and on his leg. So he was not able to move anymore. He fell down, he collapsed there, he was bleeding. What he did was, he told the rest of the 4 who were alive, out of the 10, I think 5 died. The rest, and he was the one, then rest 4 or 5, he told, just move out of here, go back. So they wanted to take him, he said, leave me because I cannot walk, leave me here only, I'll see what is to be done. And they left. After that, this guy collapsed, by the time he regained consciousness, he opened his eyes and he sees that he is in the middle of that same area where Pakistanis are roaming around everywhere, and they didn't know that he is alive, basically. So this guy kept on, he was like, okay, he kept on lying down during the day. At night, he started crawling. While crawling, he picked up the, weapon of his colleague who had died next to him. He picked it up, he started crawling down. Now, with injury, crawling, he had to come down 4 kilometers. When I say 4 kilometers, 4,000 meters in the icy heights of Kargil, in that rugged terrain, he has to crawl. This guy started crawling first day, second day. Morning he could not do because morning Pakistanis will see, they'll shoot him. So only at night he used to crawl, without food, without water. Finally, where he found the 3rd or the 4th day, it started snowing. So there was snow. He took off his, waist. He used to dip it in the snow and he used to have water. That is the way he used to have water. After 5 days of crawling, he had given up. He thought, I will not survive. Indian Army, our battalion, we declared him dead because we thought that he must have got, injured and he has succumbed to his injuries. So he was declared dead. His family was informed that he is no more. Okay. This guy, on the 6th day, he had taken shelter behind a rock. He saw 2 Pakistanis coming near a water, not water body, there used to be some streams. So they had come to fill water. But obviously armed, everybody is armed. So, and he is injured. With all his courage that he could gather, he said, either I live or they live. He killed both of them in that situation. 6 days without food. On the 6th day, he did this. He had that consciousness. He picked up their I-cards the soldiers. Because till then nobody knew about it. Nobody had the information. He got some, their wallets and I think one weapon also. Again he started crawling. 11th day, this man reaches the base, crawling for almost 4 kilometers, and he was not able to talk. So Indian Army, our other soldiers, they thought that he is a Pakistani guy who is injured. So they went and they were actually about to shoot him when they found out that this is our own soldier, our own colleague who was, we thought who has died. Then he was sent to, his legs were full of maggots. He had formed gangrene. He was taken to the hospital. We were only praying that, his leg should not get amputated. He underwent multiple surgeries and all. For 1.5 years he was treated. Later on, he came back to the battalion. The year before last, this person has retired as an honorary captain. That time, a Nayak. Nayak is this, third position. Like you join as a Sipahi, then Lance Nayak and Nayak. And then you become a Havaldar. So he was a Nayak at that point in time in 99. Now, why this story and why I wanted to tell you this was, firstly, he is not a leader. His leader died. His leader was Major Saravanan, who died in that operation. He was one of the team members in that entire thing. But in that entire thing, when he saw that the other seniors who were there, they all died and they were not there, he took that bold decision there, right? He took the decision that, okay, now my team, whosoever has survived, let them go back, step back. They can come back again after some, a couple of days, whatever it is. So he took that decision on his own. Next, he had that mental strength that he will not give up. He kept on crawling for 11 days. In that, he was bleeding like mad. He had just put his, torn his pants or something, and he had tied it very tightly. But obviously, 11 days you cannot stop your bleeding just with a cloth. So that is happening. You are without food. Okay. And finally, when you reach there, you are able to show and prove to the world that it is not just, the Mujahideen, it is 5 Northern Light Infantry of Pakistan Army, which is deployed there because of their I-card that he was able to get and recover. So now what this story tells you about resilience. I'm here to talk about resilience with you all, right? So what this story tells you about resilience?
Agility, ownership, regaining strength, optimizing on the resources, and continue to stand by with integrity and strong-rooted belief system.
Right.
With a single, and being aligned to the larger goals of the nation. Yeah.
Right. Absolutely. He has brought out most of the points. Now, these are the reasons I wanted to bring about. What if we are able to train our people in having that kind of a mentality during crisis? It was a crisis. See, as an army person, whether you're a soldier or an officer, you are trained for, getting into these kind of situations. Day in and out, you are trained. When you are in peace station, it's not that you are doing parties, you are actually getting trained. Okay? For various kind of terrains. So, if your operational area is desert, you will get trained for desert operations. If your operational area is in the jungles, jungle warfare. And then mountain warfare. But believe me, when we were fighting in those icy heights, I was just 8 months in the system. Means I had just passed out in 97 and June 99, we were fighting the war. So just 8 to 9 months in the system, and age-wise, all of us were about 21, 22 years of age. Okay. So now I come to the training part. How we can strengthen a resilience amongst our people here in the corporate world. I have some slides which I don't know whether will. These are all Kahani. I think why I wanted to bring out mental health and all these things, because you have to be mentally strong, very strong, to take decisions during those times, to take that kind of a risk and decision both at the same time. Okay, so I'll come down to this one. So now, why do you think army is able to create that kind of resilience amongst its people, or whether it's an officer or a soldier? How come it is done? So the way they function is, and it's a very superb, way of doing. Whether we have inculcated from the Britishers and and following it. But one core thing is training. Like he said, you have to keep on doing it, demonstrate, and keep on doing it. Same way here we are taught, train yourself to the extent. I was talking about muscle memory to one of whom I think I spoke to you, right? You happened to, who brought me here? Jami, sorry. So he happened to press number 2 on the left, and then he said that our office is on the 2nd floor. So that is muscle memory. Even without thinking, he has pressed it. Without thinking that we have to go to the 1st floor. So that is the kind of training that we also go through. Means today, if you leave a weapon with someone who is I have left army maybe almost 22 years back. But you try it with me. You give it give one weapon in my hand. I'll make sure that I'll hit the target very well. So that's how it is. Now what army does is I will give you the basic structure why it is so successful and why they are being time and again. This is one organization which is supposed to be a very resilient organization, right? How they are managing to do it is, in army, every person, even if there are 2 or 3 people and it's a team, there will be one commander. So how it happens is, I said a team of 10 people went, right? So that team of 10 to 11 people is known as section. A section has a section commander. Okay, this section commander is a guy who is a havaldar. I'm telling you the hierarchy. Now this section, 3 sections together becomes one platoon. And then a platoon has a platoon commander. 3 platoons come together, becomes one company. Company has a company commander. Now 6 companies come together, becomes the battalion. Then battalion has the commanding officer. 3 battalions come together, it becomes a brigade. There is a brigade commander. 3 brigades come together, it becomes a division. There is a div commander who is a major general guy. Then 3 divs or maybe 4 divs come together, it becomes a corps. And then there is a lieutenant general who is a corps commander, right? And then 2 or 3 corps come under one command. So basically India has, so I'll say Northern Command, Eastern Command, Western and Southern. There are 2 more, like one we call the Amphibian Command, which is in Andaman, and one is Southwestern. But Army has a special command wherein a level of a guy of a Lieutenant General level heads it. And that command is known as RTRAC. And that is only responsible for taking policy decisions, creating manuals related to training of right from a Jawan to a general. What kind of training has to be given to whom? And that is the kind of thought process goes behind that one entire command is sitting and doing only this, that what is the training required to be given to these people. Why this commander? I told you, section commander, platoon commander. Even 2 guys are there in a 3 guys are there in a MMG det. MMG is medium machine gun. So out of these 3 guys, 1 guy will be the det commander. So of the 3, the one still will be a commander. So there has to be a commander at all times who will stand and take the decision at that time. So if the section commander has fallen, he's died, or something has happened to him, the next in line, whosoever is the next, he will take command immediately. The next, he will take command immediately. But is it that they'll just take the command, or they are prepared for it? They are prepared for it. There is long hours of training that goes behind it. There is long hours of support, mental support. His entire journey as to whether he can become and go into the next rank is seen through by the officer who is this commanding officer. Now the commanding officer, this guy can come and share anything. The commanding officer is like a father figure. He is the father of the battalion. Anybody, everybody of that battalion can go and talk to him, tell him about his problems. He will see to it that his problems are resolved. Now when I say about problems, problems can be very, personal. So there are people, soldiers who will come and say, because, see, they are not getting chance to stay with their family throughout. So they are not able to have babies. Their family is not growing. They'll come, they'll say what to do now. So commanding officer will take a decision, okay, I will send him to a peace station with his wife for 1 year for a deputation, so that he gets, and they are able to, have their family. So that kind of a thing is there. Even, as a youngster, as a 21-year-old, I used to be telling a 40 or 35-year-old guy what he should be doing or what he should not be doing, right? So that is the responsibility as a leader that I had to take. And I have to support it by showing my actions to them. Why will anyone trust me just blindly, right? Now I am taking someone to a war. I know one wrong decision, that guy can die behind me, who is following me. And he is following just because I'm standing in front. Okay? My voice is getting a little low because I get a little carried away with this. So that's how resilience is created in that. Now, do you think, can we replicate that in the corporate world? Is it possible? Yes? As leaders, can we do that with our team? We can always identify the right potential guys, right, who can, take position. But I'll tell you one problem with the corporate world. Problem with the corporate world is we all are very insecure. We all feel our job is at stake. The moment I give the GAN to the next person, my job is at stake because company will think, "Mereko itne mein mil raha hai, main isko kyun rokhu? Why I should keep a high cost guy?" But you prove yourself so that you go to the next rank instead of thinking that why you will be at loss. So change the thought process. I'm not saying everybody has that kind of a mindset. Many of us will have a mindset wherein we want to see our team members grow. If not in your own organization, maybe somewhere else, right? But given that push, given that support, given that training or whatever educational support is required, provide it to them. Without that, one cannot grow. Without that, they will not take responsibilities. Give them, you should have the, as a leader, have the confidence in them that even if they do something wrong, when you have given them or delegated something to them, take that responsibility and let them do whatever they want to do on their own. How many of our bosses do that with us? Chalo, raise your hand. I want to just see that. How many of our bosses allow us to do anything, even if we go wrong, they allow us to do it? Basically, experimentation. Some of us are raising hands, but not most of us. So you go back to your bosses and tell them this. Because it always has to be both ways. Why always boss has to do, the appraisal for a subordinate? I feel the subordinate is the right person to do appraisal of his boss. That is what I've been taught. I've been taught by one of the commanding officers when I... 360 degree. Okay, you can take it. 360 degree means you will talk to the other colleagues, other departments, everybody. I'm talking more in general about two people, team member and the boss. Why always boss is in a position that he can only give feedback? The other person can also give you good or bad feedback about me, right? So, that is the kind of confidence level that person should have in his boss. If it is not developed, then we are not going to have a pipeline that we are thinking about, chalo, tomorrow, even if I am not there. Today I am not there in Mumbai, at least I know that something, work is going on there. So I am confident. Okay. So that confidence has to be there. Okay. Discipline, other things, everything comes along with it. But be open-minded, even you guys as bosses have to be able to, I think I'll use that other one. I'm so sorry. My voice is getting on. I'm so sorry.
No worries, it's there.
Thank you. Hello. Yeah, this is better. So even when you are going to create your succession plan, so that is how we need to look at the roles of people in creating that succession plan, right? Now, again, as a leader, decision making. I was talking about decision making. We all are aware, most of us will be aware that in 2005, Mumbai had a deluge. One of the worst, rainfalls that we had seen, many casualties and other things. I was one guy who was traveling in a local train that day, and I used to live about 60 kilometers away, so in the suburbs of Mumbai, from where I used to travel to a place called Powai. So I was traveling by train, and I could make out that there were, some 7 or 8 trains that were lined up. So I called my boss that, please invoke BCP. I got a reply, what BCP? What are you talking about? Everything is fine. I said, please invoke BCP. If you are not doing it, I am doing it. He said, no, everything is fine. Now, without realizing that he is sitting on a hill feature where all the water is flowing down. It is going into the lake. Powai is a lake. He is passing orders, I am not going to do it. So then, finally, this is the BCP leader. Unfortunately, it was the BCP leader who took that decision. But then I spoke to the MD, and then he said, go ahead. Believe me, afternoon around 2 o'clock, I took that decision. I told my teams, the logistics teams, go pick up people from their home, bring them to office. Whatever shift they have, don't worry about it. Just bring them to office and make sure that they are in office. So we were able to get about some 72% people in the office that day. Rest all was flooded. Believe me, by evening, in the next 3 hours, full Mumbai was jammed. We were able to still provide services to our clients. It was a BPO, KPO that time. So we were able to provide services to all our clients who themselves, their own employees were not able to reach office. So they were like thankful to us that, okay, at least your teams were there to support and continue our businesses. So that is where business continuity also. So the right decision at the right time, may not be that you are always in a position to take that. It was not that my BCP leader was wrong. The problem was our office was located at a height. It was in a hill feature. And from there, whatever he was seeing everything was normal. So he was not ready to take that call. Just because my MD heard me out, he listened to me, he allowed me to, take that call, we were able to sustain. So at times, bosses also need to listen to the juniors. That is what I want to bring out from this. So, these are some of the things that I thought we should talk about and invest our time in developing our own teams so that they become resilient. That their mindset should be that way. That yes, I will fight it out till the last minute. Like for us, they teach us, last man, last bullet. So either the last man standing will keep fighting, or you will keep fighting till the last bullet is there in your weapon. Okay? So till such time, you will not give up. And we have seen so many such, stories of martyrs and all. Major Shaitan Singh, 1962 war, everybody knows. His fingers were in the trigger even when he died. And so many such, scenarios. So that's where I think I will stop about resilience. So we already spoke about decision making, we spoke about cross-functional team and foresight, and this is the maximum that we spoke about now. I'll leave you guys with a small, it will play. So I think that is what we as leaders, we as bosses need to do with our team members, and hold them, support them, give them the opportunity, give them the learning, give them the freedom to, do things on their own, even if they are wrong, appreciate them. Appreciate the fact that they are trying at least. Otherwise, there will be people who are not doing anything wrong, but they are actually not doing anything. So, that's the kind of thought we need to have, right? that's it from my side. Any questions, anything that you want to ask? I'm sorry, I did not touch much upon the corporate side because corporate side, I know all of you are there working since many, many years. There are, it gets into which of the sectors is doing better and all. I didn't want to get into that. I thought I will share about something which I've done in the past and which I think will relate more with the resilience part of it. Any questions? Anything? No? Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. I request you to please come back on the stage again. I now request Mr. Sridhar and Mr. Josh to please give away the token of appreciation, please.
I didn't put the last slide.
Is it? You want to put it?
No.
You can always do it now, please.
I actually wanted to leave everyone with this. It's a Japanese proverb. Right? So that's a Japanese proverb. And believe me, I was in the lounge there and one of my army friends only sent it to me today. I thought, what a time for him to send this to me. It's in my phone right now. So, but anyways, I thought I must put it. That's the reason I said give me some time.
Yeah. Please. A big round of applause, please. Thank you. And now, let's take a moment to appreciate the unsung heroes of speed, precision, and yes, it's already delivered energy. Thank you, Team Blue Dart. While some of us are still figuring out which eye our parcel is, Blue Dart's already 10 steps ahead, jacket packed, route mapped, and probably halfway through another delivery. They don't just move packages, they move hope, jackets, and occasionally forgotten ID cards too. If resilience had a delivery partner, it's definitely wearing a Blue Dart uniform and scanning a barcode with style. Let's give it up for the Blue Dart team once again. Because without them, our jackets would still be in a warehouse and our event would still be just a well-dressed theory. Earlier this week, we had a very stylish unveiling of the QRT jackets, and if you have missed it, don't worry, the jackets are still available for you all. These aren't just a jacket, they are a symbol. They say, I'm the person you call when things hit the fan, and I'll show up in style. Now, to hand over these fashionable shields of preparedness, I call upon Mr. Sridhar and Mr. George on the stage, please. Please, sir, please. I now request Mr.
He's changing the background.
I request Mr. Shashi Kumar to please join us on the stage. Mr. Shashi Kumar. Give him a big round of applause, please. Up next, I call Miss Sonali on the stage, please. Please give them a big round of applause. Don't worry, after this, we have distributed you the packets. Lunch is ready.
She answered the most.
Yeah, she answered the most. Up next, we have Mr. Sanjay K. Mr. Sanjay on the stage, please. Up next, we have Mr. Sandeep. Please. Thank you. Thank you. As we wrap this epic opening, let's remember, resilience isn't just a buzzword. It's the quiet confidence when someone else, the system is down, and you just sip your tea and answer it smartly. It's what keeps the airport running like a well-oiled machine even when the oil is missing and someone has forgotten the machine itself. We don't just bounce back, we bounce forward. And how are we bouncing forward? We bounce forward with style, with strategy, and sometimes with the snacks too. And now, handing over the mic to a man who is thankful, thoughtful, and probably still wondering why he has agreed to do this. Because I'm sure he wants all of us to expedite and give thumbs up pose for a picture down there. Mr. Nitin, over to you, please. You all will know what I'm referring to when we are taking a good picture.
Thank you. Thank you, Ankita. Namaskar to all. Yeah. First, I would like to thank Captain Ghoshal Saab. Sir, it was a fantastic presentation. You touched our lives.
It was just a storytelling, but yeah.
You will be
I got
remembered.
a little emotional. My voice also gave way, but because we are coming very close to 26th of July, which was supposed to be
Yeah.
Vijay Divas.
Yeah.
And it was only around this time, in the month of June, that all that happened. Of course, 27 years now. No, 26 years passed. But yeah, I mean, for us, it is still. I can still remember the first bullet that went by my ears, and I can remember the sound also. Believe me. So that is the.
Yeah.
So you get little emotional. Nothing.
And we could feel that.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
feel that.
Yeah. And definitely we will remember resilience for the story which you told
Yes.
for next 25 years. Believe me.
No, actually, anyone can just Google and put this name, Shatrughan Singh, honorary captain Shatrughan. You'll get his picture and the entire story of his. Quite a famous personality now, but yeah. And I'm fortunate he was part of my company, my team. I was the child company commander after Major Salman, so he has worked with me. So yeah, I mean that is the kind of mental strength that these guys have.
May I request you all to clap for the. Please convey this on our behalf.
Sure.
Thank you, Sridhar Saab. Something which I would always remember of take home for me would be, when I leave, I should ensure that the world is a better place, and I can contribute a piece to that. Thank you so much for this message. Thank you. I'm also thankful to George Saab. He's a person who is our coach for CBR and chemical, biological, radiological emergencies. But today I'm going to thank you for the venue. But a good part about him is, whenever he's not available, he deputes Surajji and he comes to ensure that he's part of our training program. So thank you for all of that. Thank you so much. I would also like to thank the cameraman, Mr. Mohan. Aap kahan hai? Khade ho jao. Mohan and his team, they are covering us, and we all will be on YouTube. So give him a big hand. Great. Well, I would like to thank the Blue Dart participants who have participated in a big number. Give them a big hand. Also, BCM Quick Response Team. Give them a big hand. Thank you so much. I know you all were very busy, but in spite of that, you have came for this program.
Civil defense.
And
Civil defense we have.
yes, gentlemen. Yeah. So I know how difficult it is to come from the office for this program, but now you have come for this program and you know how important it was and how interesting it is. So it is mandatory for you to attend tomorrow's program. Okay. Yes, we have a quick response team, civil defense, also with us. The civil defense number 22 is here, and they have been representing us in various trainings program, internal trainings, as well as the exercises also. And they have come for today also. Please stand, BCM Civil Defense Team. Give them a big hand. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. There's one lady who had been here for some time and she's been ensuring that the program is warm and it's going on in a beautiful manner. Let me appreciate something about her. Yesterday it was her holiday. In spite of that, she came. Today was her morning duty. I think can you manage somehow, right? You talk with your boss and you'll be doing an afternoon shift. So that kind of dedication and commitment to this cause, give a big hand to Ankita. Super Ankita. And there's one person in the suit. Vinod is a person who's working on this program. He, along with Suraj and other team members, for last 1 month. And minutest details they are working on. What I'm supposed to speak, they wrote that also. Of course, I violated the protocol. Sorry for that. But wonderful, good job done. And to at large, all the participants who have participated in this program, fantastic. Thank you so much. You made us the day great. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you all for joining us. Please let us all take a group picture. And one thing is mandatory. Please sign on the wall. Then only you are then only you are allowed to go have your lunch. Please join us for the picture, please. Now.
First picture, then group photo. First signature, then group.
Yeah.
Let's do the picture here.
Here?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Just
you have
outside.
there is a dedicated space.
Please sign and join us for the picture.
Sign करके